Welcome back to Curse, Code, and Crown, a live play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition podcast featuring a fully original world and campaign. I am the wizard Cronox, observer of time. Curse, Code, and Crown features our regular voiceover artists and improvisers, Laura Hamstra as the Orc Countess Ida and Princess Gwendolyn, Tyler Hewitt as Makka Deathcap, and Ryan LaPlante as Duncan Danno, alongside our dungeon master, the incredible Tom McGee. So get ready for an adventure including thrills, chills, and hope for a brighter tomorrow. It's time for Curse, Code, and Crown!
It is a day of reckoning for Sylvia Tome, the science gnome. Having left you all for dead and sabotaged the Stonehouse and the Dwarf Expeditionary Force from Mountagrout's wind farming operation, the STARS team and their leader, the intrepid rockstar scientist Sylvia Tome, have escaped to the oh my god, I was going to call it the wrong name. Oh my god, what's the observatory? The Spiros. Thank you. How you pronounce it. There we go. Has escaped to the Spiros Observatory. You arrive to find that the team had trapped the front door. However, such traps were no match for the analytic mind of Ita, and calling down the motherfucking thunder.
Oh my god!
From Makka, who used the storm itself to blow open the entrance. The three of you, Ita, Duncan, and Makka, are crouched just in the very edge of the sort of what's the edge of the property of the Spiros Observatory. You're far enough away from the entrance that you're still out of sight. Makka has just summoned the lightning. With it came a number of the living lightning, the bolts, as you've dubbed them, which charged the entrance. You heard some screams from inside. You're still far enough away that you're in cover. The bolts don't seem to have noticed you. But the time has come to bring Sylvia a visitor named Lady Justice. What do you do?
So what we've seen in the past, Tom, is the bolts come down, fight whatever they're going to fight, and then if you wait a bit, they kind of get bored and go back up, right?
They dissipate after a while.
They dissipate,
just because they are living embodiments of lightning, but as you know, like lightning can't just maintain for a tremendous amount of time. So you get the sense that if you design these things, it's like they stay long enough to fuck up whatever's in the vicinity, and then they dissipate because you don't need a bunch of lightning running around.
All right, so I'd say we give this another minute or two for them to, flash out of here, and then we can go in without having to fight a collection of lightning monsters. Any objections?
We are giving them time to fortify, recover.
I mean,
yes, it's true. They will be responding to this attack.
So your argument is we should fight the lightning monsters?
I make no argument, only an observation. It must be considered in our plan moving forward.
All right. So I'd said we could wait. Does anyone have a different plan they would like to put forward, or is this just sort of like a note session?
It is. Yes, this is my note.
All right, so we'll go with my plan and wait a minute so that none of us die on the lightning monsters. So, Tom, we will dramatically,
good chat, everybody.
We will dramatically wait 3 minutes. And then wait a few minutes and go in.
Great. I'll just sit here in silence for 3 minutes. Okay, so you decide to wait it out. You can see as you wait, you can certainly hear sort of a commotion coming from the base of the observatory. Can you all roll me a perception check, please?
17.
14.
Isn't it ironic that I can't see my perception modifier? I have to squint to see it. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Nice. All right, fantastic. All right, so with your rolls, you hear the sounds of combat. certainly, you hear weapon fire being discharged. You hear lightning. Certainly, the sounds of electricity striking things. The clash of steel as the whoever was waiting inside put up a fight. However, after about a minute, you start to hear an alarm, not a super loud one, but from out here, you can just hear it kind of carrying on the air, of just kind of a steady thrum of an alarm, and you can actually see sand spilling out of the entranceway. And there seems to be kind of almost a cloud dissipating in the rain, quickly kind of becoming mud.
And that's our cue, is what Duncan would say. Just point towards the door. I think he knows enough about the elements to theorize in his head. He'd be like, that sound grounded the lightning bolts. So they'll think they'll be safe now. So let's kill whoever's left.
Makka just simply gestures tersely with his head, and the three zombies begin to head towards the door. And Makka takes a moment to activate his symbiotic entity, and he beefs up and bulks up as the spores bolster him physically.
Great. I'm just going to grab your zombie stats here.
Yeah, Duncan is still deeply unsettled by the zombies because they sit in that vaguely necrotous zone for him mythologically, but he's hanging on to his trust in Makka by a thread at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's not like they have anything on them that would be unsettling. Oh, they're also wearing Danno gear. Yeah, this is a bad day for Duncan. Just all the way down. Amazing. So the zombies are a little bit slower than the rest of you. So Duncan, if you're doing the full John Cleese Monty Python charge, the zombies will follow slower, or you can keep pace with them and approach a little more cautiously.
I think, we'll let the zombies take the lead in the hopes that somebody can, attack the zombies and we can counterattack while the zombies eat bullets.
Great. All right. So the zombies reach the door, and immediately there is a blast of fire that sets one of them alight. But in that classic way that fire kills people primarily by stopping them from breathing, and zombies don't breathe. One of them is just on fire, but still stalking forward, unaffected. And you hear a couple shouts from inside. A gnome leaps forward with a sword, holding in that classically kind of double hand grip, and takes a big slash, a couple slashes at one of the non-flaming zombies. We'll hit with both. Oh shit! All right, so just hacks one of the zombies in half with a quick kind of double slash. From here, though, you're not too far behind them. You can see that this guy looks rough. He is a lot of his green jumpsuit has been burned away. He's still clearly up and fighting, but definitely looking rough and also covered in sand. So having a bit of a hard time seeing. And you hear one of you hear him just kind of mutter over his shoulder "Reload faster!" And the guy yells, "I'm trying, Barry. I'm trying!" That's what you see.
Yeah, and Duncan just says, "Barry, meet Mr. Bang," and he's got Mr. Bang. He's got his left arm up, and the gun is resting on his arm as a point of contact for aiming steady, and he'll unleash both barrels on Barry.
Yep.
Nice.
First attack is a nat 1. The second attack at the same time is a 24.
Okay, so second one will definitely hit with your nat 1. I'm going to say it's going to take a full action to reload. One of the rounds is just wet enough, despite your best efforts, that it jams and clogs. So you'll actually have to do a proper.
Yeah, I got it.
Crack the barrel, grab your little pipe cleaner and just give it a proper.
I was going to say, realistically, why don't we just say no more gun this entire combat until combat's over? Because I have to take it. I have to take an action to reload normally anyway.
Oh,
so
then
enhance
it's dunzo.
Great.
Cool, but you do get one very powerful shot off. So huzzah!
Nice, and that will do 11 damage.
11 damage. Okay, yeah. So you blast a hole in in like the side of Brad. He just like lets out a scream of rage, and he's still up, but he is in tremendously bad shape. You get the sense he's in last stand territory where he's just gonna keep swinging because that's just the kind of guy. Sorry, did I say Brad Barry? It's just the kind of guy Barry is. So he's going to keep swinging. So having launched your surprise attack, both with the zombies and with Mr. Bang, you've got Barry who is engaged with the two remaining zombies, one of whom is on fire. There is clearly another gnome or goblin lurking behind them somewhere. There may be others, but those are the two you're aware of. Let's roll initiative just so we have a general sense of what's up, and we'll go from there.
Cool.
Tom, did that count as a surprise attack?
Yes.
Oh, I get automatic crits if I'm attacking a surprise target.
Okay.
So I can add another 8 damage to the total on my shot on Barry.
Okay. He's still up, but in much worse shape.
Nice.
Much
hardy.
Considerably worse shape.
12 for Ita.
17.
30, 20.
Okay. Okay. So top of the round, Duncan.
Knowing his gun has jammed in his hand, which is so unlike Mr. Bang, so disappointing. He'll stow the weapon, draw his rapier, and just yell, "For the 9!" And charge at Barry. So he's going to try to take Barry out in this opening engagement. Because I am ready to fight, I have advantage against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in this combat yet. So he will take his 2 swipes at Barry with advantage.
Damn.
He is very good if he's moving fast at the start of combat. So that is a 23 to hit.
Yep.
Followed by a 25 to hit.
Yes.
And those
we can skip the damage. How do you kill Barry? Barry. What happens to Barry?
Barry, he would come in and it would be a quick 2 moves. It would be, honestly, I think it would be Barry would take a swing at him. He'd block it, slash down Barry's sword arm, and turn it up and across his throat. So just a clean rapier, disarm death. And then he'd spin behind one of the zombies, basically. So if there's someone shooting, there's a zombie between him and target.
Great.
Not the flaming one. That would be a very bad choice. He chooses not fire.
Cool. You just hear the guy from behind yell, "Oh no! Oh God, Barry! Barry!" Which brings us to Makka.
Makka will cast Shillelagh on his mace, and he will basically come in and move past that initial fight. Actually, now that it's probably Barry's fallen to the ground. And looking inside, what does he see once he's inside Spirus Observatory?
So inside, there's sort of a large circular base area, similar to the tourism center that Doc Malvern's clinic is in. You can tell it's clearly built by the same people. So there's the 3D model in the middle. There are sort of tour benches. There's a central elevator conveyance that is sort of like a large gilded cage that arcs all the way up into the upper space. So think like just a massive.
Is it hanging? Like is it suspended?
So think it's a tube. So think like basically just if like a BioShock Infinite metal wrought, like I was gonna say wrought iron, but it's probably brass, but like a very ornate brass Art Deco tube that goes all the way up to the roof, up to the observatory itself. And the elevator is a small chamber within that can rise and fall.
Okay.
So think a cage that's been stretched all the way to the top, and then the thing comes down. It's basically just to give you a view of your surroundings as you go up. Cool. The space itself is similar to a lighthouse in that there isn't a whole hell of a lot of guts in here. It's just a massive open space from here to the observatory up top. There is a staircase that lines the walls, spiraling kind of all the way up. It's clearly kind of like either a service or like an emergency stairwell. There are lights inside that are flashing. They're kind of those spinning yellow warning lights. And over a crackly speaker, you hear a voice just say, "Weather intrusion pacified. Weather intrusion pacified." Sure enough, there is sand everywhere. And it's kind of having just been like blasted into the space. It's curling up in sort of swirling mists of particles. It does make it a little bit hard to see in here, but for those of you wearing the goggle glass, you'll be fine. Just because it's, the grit won't get in your eyes.
Yeah.
But yes, clearly a storm suppression system was implemented. You can see that the elevator is paused, sort of several floors above you, as you would in an emergency where the base level is compromised. You can also see there are some rooms off of this space. There's kind of clearly like an entry kiosk that like a welcome desk inset into the wall, the way that a lot of ticket booths are. There's a goblin behind reloading. You probably would have seen these on site at the Stars base earlier, but essentially like a sort of a mix between a flamethrower and a fireball weapon. So it can fire as a torch, sort of a extended flame, or as it did with the guy at the front, it can concentrate that into smaller sort of blasts of flame, like not like capital F fireball the spell, but like it's good for up close crowd control, but also can fire at distance in little kind of like concentrated blasts. So he's rapidly cranking a new canister onto that as you come in. There are some other members of the Stars team dead around the base level, clearly having been taken out by both the blast of the doors being blown in and the bolts that got in. So on this level, there are only the two. You can certainly hear and see other members of the team further up on the stairs, but that is what you observe.
Okay. How far away is Flamethrower?
He's across
operator?
the room, so probably about 30 feet.
Oh, I can make that. So coming straight in the doorway, I would actually like to use my reaction to infest Barry with spores and have him rise from the ground as a cordyceps zombie. So he's got 1 HP. He's not like the raised dead. Mm-hmm. I can track these if it becomes a nuisance, Tom.
That might be best. Do they get their own initiative? Is the real question.
They act after me.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I can track them then on that. And Barry will have 1 HP, but normal zombie stats otherwise?
Yep. Great. And I will I'll run across the room and try to take out this flame guy before he can reload another canister of fuel.
Okay, sure.
It'll just be a melee attack with the shillelagh.
Okay, great. So go ahead and roll your attack, please.
That one. Hold on. I have inspiration. I think this was from my conversation with Ida on the boat.
Yep, that feels right.
Back.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's well preserved. Did you vacuum seal it? Like how you been keeping that one fresh?
Roll a 4.
Nothing rots if Makka doesn't want it to.
4 plus 8, as if it matters. 12 to hit.
Will not do, sir.
No. At least I'm not gonna fucking blow up or something. Okay, so I'm in his face though.
Cool. Great. Your zombies.
They'll move up to join me.
Okay, great.
And try to attack.
So unfortunately, given that it is 30 feet away, they got a move of 20, so they'll get close.
20, okay.
The sand doesn't help.
Yeah.
And I mean the debris, when the door blew, like by lightning striking the door that hard, like the doors blew inward, so like the model is half cracked. There's like a door halfway through it. There's pamphlets everywhere. Cool, but they all start their slow zombie shuffle towards the Brad, the remaining goblin. Ita. He rolled an 8 for initiative, so he unfortunately goes last, and I think that's going to bode poorly for him, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I think this will be, well, I'll definitely use a droid analysis, because why the hell not?
Is droid analysis a reaction, or is it a bonus action?
It's a bonus action.
Cool. I just wanted to know from my brain because I was curious.
Yeah, no, it's a bonus action. So this, you say there's only Brad?
On this floor, yes. There are more people, like,
yeah.
You can see, basically, like, at a glance, there's likely a team of heavies left down here to reinforce the door. So if anyone breached the door, they would just create a kill zone. Unfortunately, you kind of blew most of them away because Makka, riding the door. So as a result, there are other team members that were taking the stairs. There's no sign of Sylvia, so she likely took the lift. Mm-hmm. But the rest of the team was on their way up to go do whatever they're going to do up there. This was just the guard the door team, and they are mostly dead.
Okay.
Oh, and sorry, to be clear, Barry is here too. He just switched teams.
Yes. I'm gonna let Barry be, of course. Mm-hmm. I think I'll use disarming theorem to attempt to charm him.
Okay.
So I think, well, the thing is that I don't actually have a lot that does a lot of damage.
That's totally fair.
Let's try to charm. So I think I'll do the old standby and start running off the Fibonacci sequence.
Okay.
And that's it. And so I'm a person of science would be charmed by that for sure. So DC saving, yes, DC save of 14.
Okay. What skill
you must make? Wisdom.
All right. To your horror, he corrects you.
No. But incorrectly, right?
I think he does that annoying thing that two smart people having a dick measuring contest does, where he just says it faster than you, and it was what you were in the midst of saying. But he also had time to wait for it because he's only going to say the one, but he's doing that petty I know that, I got there too. But you feel like he just said it he couldn't help it. He's desperately trying, Mock is up in his face. He's desperately trying to reload his flamethrower, and he just he can hear it, and is just trying to get in there.
I don't like that.
He goblin splains the Fibonacci sequence to you. Yep.
I literally turned to Duncan. Oof.
I'm sure Duncan appreciates that in his murderous rage.
Yeah, right.
Great. Bring us to Brad.
Fuck.
He's trembling as he lowers the blaster, but he knows what's up. And he's just going to open up on Makka and the three zombies.
I have a question, Tom. Does Makka get an attack of opportunity because Brad's using a ranged weapon in close combat?
No, it means Brad gets disadvantage on firing.
Oh, cool. Because I was I knew there was something factor. I knew there was a contributing factor to that. I just don't know.
You might actually. It's been a long time. So
it might also be different from bows, which is one thing to fire point blank, to guns, to flamethrowers, which is very different principles.
I'm not trying to DM splain. I just curious.
Let's confirm this because that will, I suspect, be rather important. What with the flamethrower and all. All right.
Feeling
so.
He should be fine.
Firing.
Although I don't know if D&D is and here's the rule for flamethrowers.
I mean,
but the sheer amount of fire present in its various forms, maybe.
Combat 5e.
But we're not in Neverwinter anymore, baby. This is Gren. This is Tommy's house.
That's true. You could just rule.
This is a close combat staff that shoots fire. Fuck you. It's great.
Sorry, I thought I could talk my way through this while looking it up. This is actually a complicated.
Don't worry about it, man.
It gives me time because I constantly have to look at everything that a droid analysis gives me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's disadvantage on ranged attacks because you're within 5 feet of a hostile monster. So, yes, as we thought.
So you were right. Tom is the ultimate DM.
Yeah, I am the last one. Okay, so he is going to open up. I'm going to need, please, Makka, and I'll roll for the zombies. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just get the stat up for this. Waka. Okay, so I'm going to need a con save, please.
18.
18. All right, very impressive. And we'll see what happens with the zombies. They roll
My guess is less impressive.
It truly, well, I mean, con actually is pretty good for the zombies. They do fail, but not by as much as you'd think.
Oh, well, good for them.
Okay, so 1 moment, and then I have to roll a die to
Like
see
a
what
kid
happens
going
with
to
the
Kumon.
flamethrower.
Well, they failed by less than we expected, so it's still a net gain.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying the flamethrower explodes on
It
a
might.
nat one?
No, it's not even a nat one. It's a D6, and on even numbers, bad things happen to it. Okay. So, Duncan, you are back at the doorway, correct? You haven't
Correct.
advanced? Great. So, all of the zombies take 3 damage just from being in the vicinity. So, bye-bye, Bari. A blast of fire comes out of this thing. Unfortunately, he didn't screw the canister on correctly, so the canister also bursts. So you will take. You passed your saving throw, correct, Makka?
I rolled 18. I don't know.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Okay.
I hope so. Yeah.
You did. Yeah.
It would be scary. I'd pick up that flamethrower and keep it for myself.
Honestly, I don't think there's going to be much flamethrower left to pick up. All right, so that is 10 and 7, so 17. But you'll have that.
Okay.
And the zombies, unfortunately, will take the full hit. But Brad also takes 9 from the exploding canister.
That's damage rolled up for one, right? Rounded up when it's halved of a odd number? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Brad takes 9, so he is looking pretty rough. And unfortunately, that means that the weapon is less less helpful now. It can still do some things, but not as well. Cool. So he'll do that with his action. With a free action, he'll just sort of like tap his headset and just say, this is Vickers. They're here. And he'll just like with trembling hand, while making direct eye contact with you, Makka, reach for another canister. Because what else is he gonna do? Because he can't get out of this booth without getting past all of you. Yeah. So it's just like, this is what it's gonna be. Your zombies had how much HP remaining? 22. So they're actually both surprisingly okay. Barry's dead, but your 2 zombies are still up. Okay. Not by much, but by enough. Cool. That is the first round. Top of the round, Duncan. You see zombies and Makka get hit by a flamethrower, but then you hear an explosion, and you see him scrambling to reload. What do you do?
Duncan is sprinting forwards as he sees the wash of flame come through. And Duncan looks like a villain in a comic book, because it is a man in a gas mask with glass eyes in his all black improvised survivalist gear with his hat on and a bloody bone sword in his hand, sprinting in, just yelling, "Justice for the 9!" And so he is going to leap over and kind of to the side of Makka, like close in behind the turtle in case there's another blast of flame. And it's up over the shoulder in that kind of Superman, for lack of a better, not punch, but Superman pierce. Just stab down.
Brad Pitt Troy jump and stab?
Yeah. And because he's doing that, it'll be one big attack trying to go deep, because we talked about that idea with 2 attacks rolling into one thing for flavor. The first one is a 23.
Yes.
And the second is a 14.
Yes, 14 will also hit.
Great. The damage is a total of 19 piercing damage from the bone sword.
Oh.
And with Ita yelling, slightly left. No. Like, it's like,
All you're going to get is a slightly
collar.
left at the speed of his strike.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're going to get that. And you're going to get, so was that just one hit?
That was 2 hits.
You're going to get an additional 14.
Oh, damn.
What?
All right. So Duncan, you leap up, you stab in, and he's still there. And it's maybe just a not being tremendously familiar with goblin anatomy, but as Ita yells a little bit to the left, you just like tweak the sword, and you just watch his whole face contort and go slack as he drops to his knees and slides off your sword. The canister rolling, sort of like rolling away from his hand as he slumps.
Great. Duncan's looking up. The people who are up the stairs, Tom, like basically in his brain, Duncan's doing the quick math on this, which is if we take the stairs, do we fight an army or do we need to sort out this elevator?
So we can drop out of initiative for this because it seems reasonable. I don't think you have time to fix your gun unless you really want to spend some time down here. But basically your two options are the elevator's currently paused due to the storm suppression system. If you get it back on, you'll get up. A, you need to figure out how to get it going again. But B, it'll take you up much quicker, but you're going to take a bunch of free shots on the way up.
Oh,
alternatively,
it's a cage.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Alternatively, you can climb the stairs, but you'll have to fight. It'll be a more even fight, but you're fighting. I mean, they do have the high ground, as Obi-Wan was fond of telling us. You'll have to basically like fight your way up, but you won't be as exposed, and it might be quicker depending on how long it takes you to get the thing going. So advantages and disadvantages to both.
Duncan, I think from his perspective, he'd basically cross off the idea of the elevator. He's no good getting shot. Like that's not playing to any of his strengths, whereas he'd always rather go toe to toe in an enclosed space with, for lack of a better term, a group of scientists one-on-one on stairs. So I think he'd be leaning towards that. So he'd be like, all right, unless anyone can make that elevator work and keep us alive while we go up, my vote is we fight up the stairs.
I will, one caveat to give you on this, you will need to roll for exhaustion because you're going to have to sprint up. Again, we described this as like a slightly shorter CN tower. This is a fucking heroic amount of stairs. Yep. So just throwing that out there, but also fair. You won't automatically get it. You'll just have to roll against it.
Yeah, for Duncan, if it's strength, it's like automatically getting it. But what does exhaustion do again? That affects checks that aren't combat, right?
I believe it is ability checks.
Yeah, it's so not combat, not attack, defend, or saving throws, but all ability checks.
Confirm that. It might. I don't think it's attacks, but it might be. So let me just confirm that for you before we get underway. It'll be survival checks, not strength checks, if that's any assistance. Cool. Just because it's I'll say you can take survival or athletics because it's many stairs. Disadvantage on ability checks. Yeah. So level 3 is disadvantage on attack and saving rolls. Level 2 is speed halved. 4 is max hit point halved. 5 is speed reduced to 0. 6 is death. So you're only rolling against level 1. It's not like I'm going to make you roll each and every time. You may roll a couple times though, so you might get more as you go, but it really just depends on how things go. Largely because I feel like, based on the way you're describing it, you want to go real quick and you want to fight. So this isn't just like, okay, we can just focus on like climbing. It's like climbing and also repelling attacks, fighting, blah, blah, blah. But again, might be faster. You don't know how to get the elevator going and you'll be exposed in the elevator, whereas on the stairs you have a fighting chance.
Yeah.
Up to you.
So basically what Duncan said to keep that conversation going, because we also have rules, he was like, stairs unless someone has an answer to getting the elevator going and getting us not dead in it while we rise. Because there's been some magical surprises from fucking Makka that Duncan is like, he can raise the dead. He used the storm a minute ago.
I'm looking. But
is Makka Jossie? He's not entirely sure.
I haven't prepped anything that would help us in this scenario. So Makka would look at the vertical death trap that is the elevator and then kind of size up the stairs and just kind of like roll his shoulders, being like, all right, let's get limbered up and he'll start walking towards the stairs.
Duncan will follow. He'll let Makka take the lead. Makka is essentially the close-range shock trooper with the shell and the armor and all that. So he'll be jury-rigging his gun behind to contribute if necessary, but he really wants Mr. Bang because these people are nasty at the top. What I will say, Tom, for the sake of balancing everything, Duncan would make sure the group was paced well enough that we would not lose fighting prowess. Wherever that level of exhaustion is, he'd make sure that the group stays slow enough that we could still fight good. We might lose the
the exhaustion isn't from like, we're gonna charge up the stairs and not stop at every flight. It's literally just like it is tiring to both fight and climb. So no matter what pace you're at, unless you're like stopping to take rests, you're gonna run the risk. Okay. So I'm not going to make you fight a bunch of individual groups at various flights for like 9 hours because that sounds terrible. Instead, we're going to take this as a best of 3 to kind of, generally speaking, figure out what happens as you fight your way up the stairs. If anyone's played Metal Gear Solid, this is very much the like one of the climactic near end of game sequences is just Snake having to just fucking fight up several flights of stairs. It's an amazing sequence in a video game. It's boring as shit in audio. But really do consider it that, where it is just like they left a bunch of people behind. Some of them have guns, some of them have like swords and shields and that sort of thing. And it's just ascending as you battle your way to the top.
Makka's got his shield up. He's got his temporary HP from spores. He's good to go.
So when I say best of 3, you can use whatever abilities you want. Consider this essentially, this will speak in broad strokes, but I don't want you to feel like you can only take a basic attack once or whatever. Like, think of this as if you're in a combat with these people, what are the things you would be trying to do, and use those. It can be 3 of the same thing. It can be 3 different things. It can be like, I would be, if it's Makka, for instance, you could be like, if I'm trying to throw people off, rather than fight them, you can make that option. All of your combat options are available to you. All the environmental options are available to you. Don't feel like you have to just roll straight attacks. So take a moment to figure out what you want to do, and I will figure out what these guys do. I'm
imagining we're doing 1 roll per combat as our like attempt to do something. Tom, is that how we're doing this?
Basically, let's just call it that. Essentially, that's what it'll boil down to anyway. Right.
So for sake of narrative, why don't we take 1 per character? That feels like a nice way of balancing all of our efforts going up the stairs.
I mean, I'm going to be adroitly analyzing whoever I can see.
Of course.
To be clear.
Makka is going to just be a pain train. He's basically trying not to stop on the stairs. If he comes up against someone, it's either to like push them back, like as he closes in, they retreat, or if he like makes contact with someone, it's then about like smashing them or like throwing them over his shoulder because he knows Duncan's behind him to like get the kill kind of thing. Makka's thing is like, don't lose the momentum. That's Makka's kind of
okay. So first round, Makka pain train. We've got Ida doing a droid analysis, and Duncan is there for like if somebody hits the ground, he'll stab him, but he's trying to fix up his gun. Does that make sense for round 1 for you, Tom?
Yes, absolutely.
And I at the same time, a droid analysis for my bonus action and helps anyone else attacking them. And I will also probably give an inspiring theorem to Makka's attacking. Yes.
Yes, Makka's this round.
Yeah. So I will use that as my action, which is basically just like I think she just says like, yes, we are on the stairs. We have the low ground, but you are much taller than them. So really it is an even fight. And we know you can win an even fight. And that's all it is.
Fucking I'm inspired.
But you can add a +3 to your attack rolls.
Okay. Write that down.
All right. In the immortal words of Judge Mills Lane, let's get it on! All right. So go ahead with your rolls, please.
Nat 20. Which is good because I actually don't know what I was rolling. Like I don't know what's down.
You're rolling an attack. You said you were coming in swinging, right? Like you're just attacking forwards.
Yeah. I heard talk of like survivor rolls and stuff like that, and so nat 20. Either way, no matter what it is, it's a nat 20.
Okay, great. So I think it's safe to say that you win the first round, given that you're the only one attacking. on the nat 20. I rolled for them, but they didn't roll as well. So yeah, the first group is they're stragglers. They're carrying kind of heavier gear. They're clearly not like they also haven't stacked combat troops all the way up the stairs. They didn't assume anyone would get past the door. So it's like Judy Greer gnome carrying like her like backpack full of maps. And a goblin with we'll say with like a club, but like a really well weighted, like it looks like a metal baseball bat. Like it's just like perfectly weighted. It's got like studs in the right places. And he just turns around and goes, "Oh shit!" As you just fucking sweep them both up and off, and they plummet, bouncing off the gilded cage in the center. The map gnome hangs on for a moment longer. Just kind of looks back at you with an expression on her face that you can't read. You couldn't read it before. You can't read it now. And then her little tiny gnomey grip fails, and she plummets to her doom. Scholars and fans will argue what that look meant for years to come in internet forums. Makka did not notice
Makka
it.
will not care.
Nope. So onward. Duncan, because you took your turn to try and fix Mr. Bang and didn't have to fight anything, we'll say that the gun is now no longer jammed.
Okay.
And Ida, you just keep on keeping on. Keep that analysis rolling, yo.
Analyzing the next one.
Great. So you begin to sprint further up the stairs. There are ranged weapons in the next area. One of them just kind of turns and braces against the stairs, nods to the other guy to keep going, and will kind of open fire as you run up towards them. What do the three of you do?
Shield raised. Makka's not stopping.
Duncan will use Makka as basically a shield. Like there's a giant turtle that's armored with a shield. He'll just try to stay behind him basically and use Makka as moving cover.
I will use confounding theorem to try to assault the mind. And I will just say, I think I will say, peer review failed.
This is a wisdom?
It is an intelligence saving throw, DC 14.
Intelligence.
Absolutely
DC
devastating.
14.
Yeah. All right. He fails. And you just hear him say like, but no, my weapon is perfectly balanced. I did everything right. I mean, sure, I may just be a TA and not a full professor, but surely my weapon will work. It will work.
And then he takes 14 psychic damage.
His head explodes. And slumps forward, stumbling, falling, and you just hear the gnome who's running away behind him just yell, "I told him that weapon wouldn't work," as he runs up the stairs. I'm going to need first round of survival checks, please.
Okay.
That's a 21 for Makka.
Feeling fine.
8 for Ida.
Oh, so sleepy.
And that is a 13 for Duncan.
13. All right. Ida, you have level 1 exhaustion. You have disability on ability checks.
Okay.
I think having I feel like Ida, we've established Ida is a very physical person and likely is like fine doing stairs. I just don't think you've ever talked while doing them. Like, I feel like all the time Ida has ever exercised, it's been in pure silence, just like in her own head.
Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of her stair work has been climbing like library staircases.
So like quietly and
ladders
carefully,
and such. So it's very
as not
quiet.
to knock books aside.
Exactly. Being very careful to not make a noise, not make a sound.
Yep. So far you guys have been outrolling them quite a bit. Let's see what happens on this next one. What would you like to do?
I would like to perform a droid analysis.
I think what we'd probably do to do a soft pitch is the same strategy, only this round if Makka starts to falter, Duncan can support in a more direct and engaged way. So however you want to score Duncan teaming up, let me know, Tom, and we can do that.
Okay. For the ease of my brain, let's actually say then that this is a Duncan attack with Makka being the kind of like almost a phalanx thing where it's like he's got the shield up and is charging and you're attacking over. We'll actually talk the speak
I have
through
your
this as,
shield,
like,
brother.
yeah, exactly. We'll actually consider this both of you attacking, but it's like the goal is for Makka to kind of create the opportunity and for Duncan to go through. This is the most fortified group you found. There is actually a guy who's put out like one of those extendo metal shields from video games to create a waist-high wall. So he's kind of bracing behind that, and then there's 2 shooters over. So they're going to get 2 free shots at you as you come up, and then you'll be able to take your actions. So, Makka, what is your AC right now?
19 with the shield.
Damn. All right. I rolled a dirty 20 and a nat 20. So, sorry, homie.
It's all right. It's what the temp HP is for.
Yep. That is true. All right. Let me just pull up my stats here. One moment. Cool. All right. So, I am going to need, sir, a dex save.
Oh, that's not good. Nat 20. Lucky me.
Oh, hey. Okay, so this is going to be a weird mess of things. Because you got a nat 20, I got a nat 20. So you will save against one of the shots. So one of the shots you just purely managed to reflect off. The other one will hit you, but I'm only going to roll standard damage because I feel like it would do double. You would have the double. It's just
roll single. Yeah.
So basically, our nat 20s counter each other and then take hits. But you didn't take anything from the other guy, so like minor thumbs up. All right, let's get rid of those temp HP, shall we? Oof. Yeah. Okay. That is 32 points of lightning damage.
Oh, fuck.
From his arc caster.
I had 31 temp HP. I was like, I got this.
So you take
Makka's regular size now.
You take 1 HP.
Yep. You blocked with like a full Ita's worth of HP.
Yeah, honestly, not far off.
So he shoots a shot. It's a great shot. Hits you, but like you're still just pummeling forward. So now you're just like raked with electricity. It's like, Rey walking forward against Palpatine's lightning. It's just kind of like the lightning's hitting you
with like a lightning gun.
He is, yes.
That's cool.
So he's just like maintaining the shot, and like as you're getting closer,
there's like a beam. That's cool.
Yeah, he's like pulling the trigger harder, but it doesn't. It's that thing where it's like he can hope.
Really gonna press A.
Well, yeah, that's it though, right? It's like all he can hope is that this somehow ends you before you reach him.
Right.
He can't like crank it up any. So he's just like.
Because he is blasting off your additional armor, right? So like your spore armor is flying around you.
Yeah. So that brings you to within striking distance. Duncan.
Cool.
Oh, yes, good.
All right. So I've got my attacks. I'll use a swashing point for this because definitely.
And can you imagine if both of those hits went through?
Exactly. Yeah. Ida, you're doing your adroit thing, right?
Yes.
I would assume so. It is a round of combat.
You are inspiring as well, following our traditional pattern, or no?
I was thinking of attacking myself, but as in attacking other people, myself attacking others.
We made the same joke.
Yeah.
Same page, same brain.
Tom, is it just one person attacking per round?
So we had talked about all three of you getting to roll, like basically to shoot your shot each time you run up against a thing. In this case, because of the way you described what Duncan and Makka are doing, I'm only going to give you one for the two of you because he's actively taking the hit.
Yeah.
But I will allow Ida because she is behind two of you. She's not actively blocking bolt lightning.
Okay. So, yeah, that sounds great. So yeah, you and I will both attack Ida and Duncan. So Duncan striking from behind Makka. That is a 14 and a 26.
Holy shit.
Both of those will hit, yes.
Great.
Especially the 26, though. Want to be really clear about that.
Especially Lisa.
But especially Bart.
30. It's 30 HP between the two strikes.
Add 5.
Okay, so that would be 40 damage from both. I rolled 2 7s and they're D8s. So is that plus 8 for both is just a very nice. We swatched it up.
He had 32, so good job.
Corpse.
So
Ida comes up and hits one of the corpses with the stick.
no, there's 2 guys there. So one guy goes down. Ida, go ahead and roll your attack.
So my attack is you just need to do a saving throw. Intelligence, DC 14. And because I just yell, tenure revoked.
I don't know why. I've been rolling so badly. They actually have a pretty good int bonus, but I rolled a 3. So
nice.
Oh my god, you found the rare one that has tenure.
Yeah, he's just like, but my union! At which point Makka just shield bashes him off the ledge. And the whole way down, he just yells, I'm calling my rep! And then you just see a blast of lightning from the base. I need one more survival check from all of you as you rush to the top.
Oh,
23.
7.
5.
All right, so Duncan and Ita, you've got level 2 now, which means your speed is halved. You're so sleepy. But and Duncan, you're getting
ability checks.
Yeah. But all of you have reached the top. There is a sort of like this place is extraordinarily ornate, as we've established, in very much that like Art Deco, BioShock Infinite, Naboo kind of way. But much like any proper tourist attraction, the service doors are not. So it's just a standard metal door. It's not impressive at all. It's got like one of those push bar things on your side. It's got a little, just sort of like a long flat knob that you can turn to enter. But beyond it, is the observation center itself. The answer to some of your questions, and more importantly, Sylvia Tome, the science gnome. With trembling hand, you reach out, Makka, grab the knob, and prepare to face the gnome.
This episode of Curse Code and Crowd Sound was mixed and edited by Laura Hamstra, and the campaign was created by Tom McGee. Our original theme music was composed by Landon Knoblock, and Curse Code and Crown's artwork was created by the brilliant Del Borovic. If you want to follow our players or our DM on Twitter, you can reach out to Laura at EL Hamstring, Ryan at the Ryan LaPlante, Tyler at Tyler_Hewitt, Tom McGee at McGeeTD, or you can message our whole company at DumDumDice. So please, join us again for more Curse, Code, and Crown!
Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. The Half-Blind Prophet, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Lord Abradovic, Orion Birchfield, Scott Garland, Benjamin V, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Cade Peters, Richard Cranium, Anna Zed, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Acrix, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Austin Nut Powers Fry, Stabby Stranger, Roman Brown, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.